Good morning, students. We will continue with the seventh chapter, that is non-cooperation movement. And I've already explained role of Gandhiji in Africa. Gandhiji arrives to India. Philosophy of Satyagraha, Champaran Satyagraha, Kheda Satyagraha, Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, Rowlatt Act. And I'm going to start with Khilafat movement. Now, Muslims all over the world regarded the ruler of Turkey as their religious leader. During the First World War, Turkey fought against British to get the support of the Indian Muslims in the war. The British had assured that after the end of the war, Khalifa's empire will not be harmed. Now here I want to brief you that after death of Prophet Muhammad, Khalifas were supposed to be, the religious head of Muslim community, and they were respected worldwide by Muslim community. And since Khalifa, he was head of the Muslim all over the world and was also ruling Turkey, Britishers had assured that his empire will not be harmed. But after the end of First World War, England did not stick to its assurance. A tide of great discontent aroused among the Muslims. Why? Because Turkey was divided, his position was at stake, and all this was taken very negatively by the Muslim community, and therefore Muslims were not happy with this act of Britain. The movement started by Indian Muslims to support the Khalifa was called Khilafat movement. Gandhiji thought that on this problem, if the Hindus and Muslims come together and start a nation-wide movement, then the government can surely be brought to its sense. So, to fight against the British, Gandhiji started, this Khilafat movement, so that both Hindus and Muslims come on one platform to fight against the British. Therefore, Gandhiji supported the Khilafat movement. The Khilafat committee accepted Gandhiji's proposal of following non-cooperation to the government. Hindu-Muslim unity was seen especially during this movement. Now this is how Gandhiji tried to take help of the Muslims against the British. Now that led to the non-cooperation movement. The concept behind non-cooperation movement was that the British government in India is dependent only on cooperation of the Indians. Now see, Britishers were less in number, but majority of the people were Indians, which consisted of majority population, that is Hindus and Muslims. So the concept of Gandhiji was that if Indians did not cooperate with Britishers in their day-to-day administration, it would be very difficult for the British to govern the country. This was the motive behind this non-cooperation movement, not to cooperate with the British in day-to-day affairs of the administration. If the Indians adopted complete non-cooperation, then the British government will completely collapse. With this intention, he evoked the people of India to take part in this movement. In 1920, the Indian National Congress session was held at Nagpur. The resolution of non-cooperation movement put forth by Chittaranjan Das was accepted. Now, at this session, they decided that they are going to start non-cooperation movement, and this was accepted by members of Indian National Congress. All reins of the movement were given in the hands of Mahatma Gandhi. According to this resolution, A program was framed to boycott government offices, courts, foreign goods, government schools and colleges. This was the technique which was supposed to be used during non-cooperation movement. That is, boycott government offices, courts, no use of foreign goods, and boycott all those schools and colleges which were, run by the British. Progress of non-cooperation movement. On the background of non-cooperation movement, many eminent means important, known, lawyers like Motilal Nehru, Chittaranjan Das, etc., boycotted the court by giving up their practice. Now, these people were, important lawyers, and they boycotted the court. They did not attend the court where, they can look into the legal matters. During this period, with the boycott of schools and colleges, scheme of national education was run. All those British run schools and colleges, students stopped attending them, and Indians started schools and colleges which were, run by them. Many national schools, colleges and universities were established. There was boycott of coming elections, boycott and bonfire of foreign clothes. Everywhere, Indians boycotted, and sometimes these foreign clothes were, publicly burned. A mark of protest through this way. Due to this, the import of foreign clothes decreased. Lot of foreign clothes were brought from England and sold in India at a very high price, which had earlier killed the Indian industry, khadi industry, handicraft industry, especially handmade goods. And with this act of bonfire of foreign clothes, there was decrease in the sale of foreign clothes. In 1921, during the visit of Prince of Wales, he was welcomed by organizing Hartal. When Prince visited India, Hartals were organized to show public feeling against the British rule. Lonely roads and closed shops welcomed the prince. The movement spread from the planters in Assam to rail workers in Bengal. To bring the movement under the control, British government undertook suppressive measures. To check all these activities, the British government took very harsh measures against the protesters. In February 1922, the police opened fire on a peaceful procession at Chauri Chaura in Gorakhpur, district of Uttar Pradesh. The people were angry and set fire to the police station, in which, along with one officer, 22 policemen were killed. Due to this incident, Gandhiji was hurt. On 12th February 1922, Gandhiji suspended the non-cooperation movement. Now see, during Chauri Chaura incident, when this non-cooperation movement took ugly turn, became non-violent, Gandhiji was disturbed because he was a believer of non-violence. When this movement took violent turn, Gandhiji was disturbed. Since Gandhiji was believer of non-violence, he immediately stops the non-cooperation movement. Now, lot of debate and theories and researches have been done all these years regarding this stopping of non-cooperation movement, and some of these scholars and debates, they try to propagate this idea that if Gandhiji would not have stopped the non-cooperation movement, India would have got the independence. The freedom struggle would not have stretched so long. But then all these are debates and discussions. Mulshi Satyagraha. During the non-cooperation movement, the farmers of Mulshi Taluka in Pune district launched Satyagraha against the government. Senapati Pandurang Mahadev Bapat led the Mulshi Satyagraha, for which he was punished with 6 years of imprisonment. This is how Britishers, they tried to suppress the movement. Gandhiji was arrested in March 1922 for writing 3 anti-national articles in Young India. Special court was set up at Ahmedabad and Gandhiji was sentenced 6 years of imprisonment. For all these activities, Gandhiji was arrested and was sent to 6 years of jail. Later on, grounds of ill health, Gandhiji was released from the jail. Gandhiji, along with non-cooperation movement, took up constructive programs which mainly included spread of Swadeshi. Swadeshi is, Indian made good. Hindu-Muslim unity. Now see, currently our Honorable Prime Minister has started this Make in India scheme. This is what is Swadeshi. You all know Make in India scheme was started by our Prime Minister few years back, and this Make in India scheme is nothing but Swadeshi, Indian made goods by Indian people. Hindu-Muslim unity. Why Hindu-Muslim unity? Because if both these communities, they are united, the freedom movement will be much more stronger. Prohibition of alcohol. Removal of untouchability. This was a blot on Indian society. Untouchability has been a blot in our society. Popularize use of khadi. Handmade cotton cloth, khadi. National education. Due to these constructive programs, the national movement became more comprehensive in rural areas. With all these programs, now the national movement was more comprehensive. There was more awareness about this movement. People from every section of society joined this movement. Swaraj Party. The members of Indian National Congress such as Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru put up an idea of contesting elections and obstructing the work of the British government. Now they wanted to contest election so that they are part of the parliamentary system. In this way they wanted to obstruct and oppose the government. In 1922, the Swaraj Party was established. In 1923, many members of Swaraj Party were elected in General Legislative Assembly and Provincial Legislative Council, mainly including Motilal Nehru, Madan Mohan Malvi, Lala Lajpat Rai and N.C. Kelkar. They were those who got elected in the Central Assembly and Provincial Assembly. When the political movement in country calmed down, then the fight in the Legislative Assembly was strengthened by the Swaraj Party. They severely opposed the unjust policies of the British. That means whatever decisions were taken in the assembly, these leaders, they opposed the wrong policies of the British. They demanded that responsible government should be given to India in future. A government which is responsible, which tries to sort out the problems for Indian people. This was the demand of the members, those who were elected to these Provincial Assembly and Legislative Assembly. They made a resolution to be passed in the Legislative Assembly for the release of political leaders from prison, to call for round table conference the government rejected most of the resolutions. Simon Commission. The reforms introduced by Montague-Chelmsford Act of 1919 were unsatisfactory. Hence, there was discontent among the Indian people. On this background, the British appointed a commission under chairmanship of Sir John Simon. In this commission, none of the Indian member was included. Hence, the Congress decided to boycott the commission. In 1928, the commission arrived in India. Wherever it travelled, the people made demonstrations. Shouting the slogans like Simon go back. There was lathi charge on the demonstrations. All those protesters, those who were protesting against the Simon Commission, they were hit by lathi. You must have seen, nowadays a small baton in the hand of policeman. Something like that, a bigger, wooden stick was used, especially bamboo stick was used during that time. And with this, all these protesters were hit. At Lahore, Lala Lajpat Rai was leading the demonstration against the Simon Commission. The police lathi charged the demonstrators. Saunders, a police officer, attacked Lalaji with a lathi. After the attack, in a protest meeting, Lalaji said, "Every blow on my body will prove a nail in the coffin of the British Empire." Within few days of the attack, Lalaji died. Now he was severely hit by a police lathi on the head, and later on he succumbed to the injury. Now this was a major blow to the political leaders. Nehru Report. Birkenhead, Secretary of State of India, criticized that the Indian leaders cannot draft an unanimously accepted constitution. That is, he criticized that Indians were unable to write down a constitution which was accepted by all. This challenge was accepted and an all-party committee was formed. Pandit Motilal Nehru was chairman of this committee to establish self-government in the colonies of India, implement adult franchise, that is, all those who were 21 years of age, they were allowed to give their vote during election. Adult franchise system. Linguistic division of provinces. Such proposals were put up in this report. This report was known as Nehru Report. By the end of 1929, an indication was given that if the Nehru Report is not accepted by the government, then the civil disobedience movement will be started. This was the plan of Indian political leaders, that if this Nehru Report is not accepted, then Gandhiji and Indian leaders will start another movement, and that was civil disobedience movement. On this background, in December 1929, the Lahore session presided by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became memorable in history. Why? Because at that session, demand for Purna Swaraj, complete independence, the objective of Indian National Congress of Dominion status, was not acceptable to many young members. Young leaders like Pandit Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose were demanding complete independence. Purna Swaraj. Due to the influence of this young group in the Lahore session of Indian National Congress, a resolution of attainment of complete independence was passed. Purna Swaraj. Demand for Purna Swaraj was passed. Through this resolution, Indian National Congress gave up the objective of dominion status. From here onwards, objective of national movement was complete independence of India. No more dominion status. Complete independence. On 31st December 1929, Pandit Nehru unfurled the tricolor and a resolution was passed on which 26 January was declared to be celebrated as Independence Day. This is, we are discussing about 1929. So 26 January 1930, they were supposed to celebrate this day as a Independence Day. On 26 January 1930, people all over country took pledge for carrying out the freedom movement with non-violent means for attainment of independence of India. Everywhere in the country, the atmosphere was charged with a new spirit. This is how Gandhi ji took this movement to another level. Students, we have ended this chapter. Please go through the chapter, read it thoroughly. Any doubt, please do ask. Take care. Stay home. Thank you.